Once upon a time, in a small village nestled among peaceful mountains, there lived a young man named Marco, 24 years old. Despite his youth, Marco always lived in a state of restlessness and unease. His mind was constantly filled with thoughts, never stopping for even a second. At one moment, he mourned the past. At another, he worried about the future, leaving his heart heavy, as if a storm were endlessly raging within him. These endless streams of thoughts came and went without pause. Instead of bringing anything good, they exhausted Marco. During the day, his mind spun with meaningless concerns. At night, he tossed and turned, unable to sleep. His innocent smile slowly faded, leaving behind a weary, sorrowful face. Marco felt trapped in an invisible whirlpool of the mind. No matter how hard he tried, he could not find calm. The more he wished to escape, the more he drowned in his chaotic thoughts. Sadness from the past pulled him backward, while fear of the future pushed him forward. He no longer knew how to live in the present or savor the moments right before him. His youthful days slipped away in exhaustion, and more than anything, Marco longed for peace of mind. One day, while lost in constant sorrow, Marco overheard people talking about a remote village deep in the hills. There lived an old man who had once been a famous psychologist in the city. All his life, he had helped countless people overcome suffering and rediscover serenity. In his later years, he abandoned the noisy city life, choosing seclusion in a quiet village close to nature. Sometimes he welcomed those who sought him, offering them precious advice. Hearing this, hope arose in Marco's heart. He thought, perhaps this wise man is the key to freeing me from the endless cycle of my mind. If he can guide me, I will find peace. That thought urged Marco to set out on his journey. The path was not easy. The mountain road was winding and endless, leaving him exhausted. For many days he walked in fatigue, yet his faith and longing for tranquility pushed him onward. At last, after a long journey, Marco reached the small village. Before him stood a simple house covered in green vines. On the porch, the old man sat quietly, his eyes gently closed, his face radiating a strange serenity. Marco felt his heart calm. He carefully approached and softly said, "Sir, my mind is in turmoil, always filled with thoughts and worries. I long for peace. Please help me." The old man slowly opened his eyes, his gentle gaze and soft smile giving Marco his first sense of comfort after so many restless days. The old man listened to Marco's plea, nodding kindly. He spoke slowly. "You wish to find peace of mind? Very well, but first I have a small task for you." Then he led Marco to the yard where a wooden table stood. On it he filled a glass with water. He poured until it was full to the brim, so much that even the slightest shake could spill it. He handed the glass to Marco and said, "Take this glass, walk from here to the edge of the village and back. Only one condition, not a single drop must be spilled." Marco was startled. He did not understand such a strange challenge, but desperate for an answer to his suffering, he accepted. Carefully, he held the glass with both hands and began walking. The village path was narrow and crowded. Children played, adults called out their wares, dogs barked noisily. But Marco dared not notice any of it. His entire focus was on the glass in his hands. He stepped slowly, eyes fixed on the shimmering surface, afraid that even one careless glance would ruin everything. The villagers looked on with surprise, but no one interfered. They knew he was being tested. After a long while, Marco returned to the old man's house, breathing a sigh of relief. "Sir, I did it. Not a single drop was spilled." Hearing his words, the old man smiled kindly and asked slowly, "Well done, but tell me on your way, did you see the children playing by the road? Did you hear the dogs barking or the vendors calling in the market?" Marco was surprised, shaking his head. "No, sir. The whole way I focused only on the glass. I noticed nothing else." The old man nodded, his eyes glowing as if to impart something important. He said, "That is the very secret you have been seeking. When your mind focuses only on one task in the present, all worries, fears, and troubles vanish. In that moment, you are not sad about the past, nor anxious about the future. The mind becomes quiet, leaving only the presence of now." Upon hearing this, Marco awakened. He realized the peace he had been searching for everywhere was never far. It had always been within him, needing only to bring his mind back to the present. In that instant, he felt lighter than ever before. Marco bowed his head gratefully and whispered, "Now I understand. To be at peace, I must keep my mind alert." Peace is not something to seek outside, but a state.